Hey everybody, this is Brad from Johnson Small Engines. We're going to show you how to rewind a string head on a Echo SRM 225. We have the assembly up here. It already has string in it. I'm just going to show you how to redo it. We have a couple utensils that I use. You got a Phillips head screwdriver. The reason why I'm using this one, it's a little bit skinny, is to get into the pilot hole that we need to get into. Flathead screwdriver allows you to pry it open a little bit easier, and then of course pair of cutters to cut the string, and a Black Magic marker that I use to when the string is halfway, when you're at the halfway point in the string, I mark it so we know where we're at when we redo it. So first one you want to use is the Phillips head screwdriver. It's a thin one. You're going to go inside. You find on the shroud where there's a cutout, and the cutout will go into the collar where there's a hole in the collar, and the hole in the collar is there for a reason. It's so you can lock the head from moving. And when you take these off, you're going to, actually it's clockwise, not counterclockwise. So you want to go clockwise to take it off. Normally everything takes off counterclockwise, but this is clockwise. You unscrew it from the assembly. You're going to have a couple pieces that usually fall off just like that. This is just a collar that goes on before the head assembly, and this collar has that little cutout right there. And then it has a cutout inside here. So you have three different cutouts for the Phillips head screwdriver to go into when you're trying to get it to stop. Okay, that's when you're taking it on and off. So you want to be able to do that when you put it back on again, and also when you're taking them off. I'm going to put this down so we don't lose it. Okay, so now we have the assembly. Get this out of the way. So now you got to take it apart. Wait, there's a couple different ways you can do this. The easiest way to do it is just by finding the two spots where they actually, well, they're push-in buttons, sort of, kind of, I guess you call them clips, and you're just going to push in one, and actually this one's coming apart pretty easily. I had the screwdriver just in case you wanted to be able to pry it up, but you push the button in and pry the collar up, and then you push the button in on this side, and you're going to push them up, and this is where the screwdriver comes in handy. Of course, this is going to fall off here, so I'm just going to take this off here, set this aside. All right. Push this in. Oh, just came off right there. This is the top. Actually, it's the bottom when you're using it. It's top in this case. Then you have your insert that has your string on attached to it, and as you can see, this has already been spooled up. I'm going to take it apart so I can show you how to do this. It's pretty easy to figure out which way it goes because you have the bottom piece that screws on to the machine. It goes through the bottom like that. All right. And this is the spool that we're going to actually rewind. So I usually get about 18-20 feet. Probably not going to use that much. Cut it from whatever spool you have, or just buy it in packets. Depends on the thickness you're going to use too. This looks like it might be like 100 thousandths, 105 thousandths. To put them together at the end, I use a vise to help me out, and then I pull it back until I find the center. And once I find the center, I mark it with a magic marker. Okay, so the center is right about there. Mark it. All right, we're good. And once you have it marked, you want to take it off and put it into your spool. Your spool usually has a slot somewhere for the cord. This one does. Looks like it's made to go through it all the way. Some are a little bit different, some have loops. Then you pull it through to the black line. Now I have a couple different black lines here because I've been doing this, but you just go back into where your black line is kind of centered up in the center. And on top you have how you wind it, which way you wind the cord. Usually that means which way you wind the cord. Sometimes it means which way it actually revolves, but I'm going to go with this is rewind the cord this way. Get one cord on one side, one cord on the other, and you wind them together. Just keep them taut until you're through the entire length of your cord, or it gets too full that it overflows. Now we're getting to the ends here, and it's also getting a little bit full. I got them a little bit cocked at an angle here. This one's a little bit. You try to keep these guys as tight as you can. Looks like I might have one go over. Alright, so once you get them to the end, you have these little nips on the top of your spool, and they're designed that you can put the cord in there, and that keeps them from unwinding on themselves. Lock them in. Gonna have to put your string through the holes on this side, on this side. It's a little tricky sometimes. Now the hard part is getting this thing to sit down in there while you get the tension off. You gotta pull it through. As that one's pulled through, that should stay. That one's pulled through, and that should stay. Alright, now you have to pick up the bottom or the top, depending on which way you're holding it. This is actually the bottom. Close them together. Wasn't pretty, but it worked. Pull these out, and you're gonna have to snip these to the correct width. And pushing down on the head, it's like this is gonna be connected into the shaft. You almost have to have it on the machine, but it's a spring loaded. When you bump this on the ground, this comes up in turn. Will allow this to come out one click. Allows that to come out one click, just like that. Again, tap it again, comes out one click, comes out one click. Usually I have these spread out to where on the machine, it has this self cutter, which is one side or the other. It's over here. This one's a little bit on the dirty side. Yeah, it's supposed to look like that. Okay, once you get this together, all right, you do have to put the bottom cover, or actually it could be the top cover, depends on which way you're looking at it. But this faces up towards the shaft, and it's just a matter of like, they're pretty straightforward. You just gotta line them up. It's like a puzzle. And once it's on there, that's your bottom, top, whatever you ever call it. All right, then you're gonna do this counterclockwise to tighten it. Everybody thinks now, oops, let's take this back off. Let's not forget our piece for our collar that has our little U in it. And that actually will go into the hole that's in here, through our hole here. Put this on. Clockwise. And I'm just going to put my finger in there until it gets a little bit tighter. And then I'm going to put the screwdriver in the hole. And you want to get it snug. And then this bottom piece here, you just hold the bottom and you tighten that right there, the collar. Get nice and tight, and you should be good to go. What I would do is bring it down to your cutter and get it real close to your cutter. Snip it right before the cutter, so when you first go to use this, you can tap it and it'll come out to the cutter and make sure your cutter's working. And that's pretty much how you rewind a trimmer string head on an Echo. Thanks for watching.